Welcome back, everyone, to the MCOM Iron to Plat Split 2 playoffs, where after a pretty dominant game number one, STARCASTERS lead the series 1-0 and are on the verge of heading towards, I believe, the grand finals. I'm joined now by Mayhem, as Quicksand had a little bit of a sore throat after work today, so you'll be stepping in to take the reins. Yeah, pushing the buttons behind the screen, now in front of it, as I believe players are ready to get in towards that champ select. We'll get to see you react to it properly instead of being deafened in Discord the whole time,
Yeah.
as chat is already going wild for you.
Yeah, well, I was muted, so they didn't hear anything I said up until now. Oh well. Hi, Easy Life. What's going on, Beats? Yeah. Alright, here we go. Champ select number one for me this entire tournament. I'm excited. Jack's band, of course. Your boy Toppy is a strong top laner. Both of these top laners are really good, so fair enough, the band's up there. And the top lane matchup last game was kind of interesting. Cletus was getting beat up a lot. That matchup didn't look very good for Ornn. All of a sudden, Tower Dive goes his way, and then that man just started bonking heads. Big boy mayhem. You're right. That's it.
Yeah, 27,000 damage to cap that game off.
Yeah.
Same sides of both of these teams now, and almost the same bands until those second two come in. Amumu and Ezreal. Interesting to see the Zed pretty standard with these assassin changes. No one wants to deal with that at this point, and learning from their mistakes of letting that Jinx cook will be the Melio off the board.
It's funny because Easy Life himself is a Zed player, so maybe he just knows the powers. He plays Zed and Lissandra. Lissandra, one of the bands stolen away for the other team. And Jinx going to be taken away because they picked the Lulu first. They're like, hell nah. We are going to pick up that Jinx and steal it away from you.
And it will be locked in. I mean, we can all agree Jinx is probably the most broken champion in the entire game and has been for months, if not years, at this point.
She's
the
so
Lulu
fun.
signifies possibly maybe Lulu Cogmore.
Yeah, but I think it was going to be Lulu Jinx, and that is why Stormwolves were like, yoink, no thank you, we're not letting you do that. Even though they probably didn't want to pick it that early. Oh, maybe they did because Jinx broke and pick it as fast as you can, but they're not going to let them get away with that, and here's the Cogmore you were talking about.
Love that combo, especially with Ginsu's being moved up towards a mythic now. It gives both armor penetration and magic penetration in the same item. Every single time you build a legendary item, it is incredibly powerful, and paired with the Ornn once more. This is already shaping up once again to be such an incredible draft.
Yep. Cletus is going to pick up his Ornn. Really great for scaling, and that's what everyone is going for right now. ADC meta OP. Interested to see what other kind of champions are going to be taken away. Here we got the Nami, great disengage, decent champion from long range, just stop everyone from doing everything. Perhaps you can get a bubble or an ultimate knock up to stop Ornn from getting his ult off. A couple of cool interactions there. Otherwise, all around good enchanter to boost up these OP ADCs right now. And we're going to have Jarvan banned away for Tempest so that he can't go nuts on him like he did last game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Wukong as well. That Nami combination can be pretty strong, especially with the Cyclone providing all of that space for Jinx to just free hit. We see Cassiopeia banned away for Easy Life. Gwen as well. Try to take that off the board and give Cletus an even stronger lane matchup on this champion. Silas as well will be that last ban. So I have to see exactly what this next pick is. Could be blind, or it could be that
Nasus
answer, and it will be the Nasus. Very interesting way to end off that R4 pickers. Ooh, Ivern.
I like Nasus. I think Nasus in his meta is pretty good. You got a passive tanky top laner who's not going to be bullying you too much. You're going to be able to farm and do a lot of nice things. ADC meta. If Nasus ever gets that Wither onto Cogmore, he's only going to have 5 attacks a second instead of 20. So it's going to be really, really nice for him to be using that on Cogmore. But yeah, Aurelion Sol, full scale. We're going to need to see a early game jungler here from Tempest, Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, something along those lines in order for him to try and hold out early game up until that point, because otherwise Wukong's just going to dominate the early game and take all the dragons. But Xin Zhao is here. We have something to hold our head above water until we make way for the Cogmore Aurelion Sol to be taking off. Not a lot of tanks to be stopping that. Not a lot of answers at the moment. There is just so much scaling damage on the side of Starcasters at the moment. Galio to respond.
Galio. Ooh. Very low damage composition across the board here. Really going to be relying on this Jinx and kind of the Wukong Nasus as well. Pretty interesting across the board, but they need to get something done early game, and I don't really think that the Galio is the right pick here. Xin Zhao, like you mentioned, will be that jungle for Tempest, and honestly, I'm still favoring Starcaster's composition. They didn't change up the fundamental themes too much, right? They've still got the scaling AD carry, they've got the Enchanter who's really going to boost them up. They've got a high impact Rod of Ages, likely, maybe it could be Liandry's, mid laner here for Easy Life. Going to be up to STORMWOLVES to see if they have adapted from that last game, or if things will continue to be in favor of a potential 2-0 sweep here in the playoffs for Starcasters.
I really like the interactions that we're going to see between Xin Zhao and STORMWOLVE's team comp. Their engage is sort of light, right? Wukong and Galio are going to be trying to jump in, both of which can easily just be bonked in the head by Xin Zhao, told them both to go back at the same time, while his team free hits them, and Lulu is going to be able to polymorph the Wukong, really good at preventing that second ultimate knock-up from him. There's just so much disengage and like scaling here for Starcasters. I'm feeling like they won draft here. I don't know how well Galio is with the new items, but I feel like Galio might not be the best answer for what we see going on. He's decent. If Wukong can go mid and gank Aurelion Sol a lot, he's going to be able to get him off the ground there. But it's not like you're ganking some sort of a mid laner that can carry through the late game. You're going to be shutting Aurelion Sol down for a while, but it's Aurelion Sol. For a while is the big words in that sentence.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got the cleanse here on Dark as well. So even if the Wither does land, can just immediately get out of that one pretty much for free in position against this Jinx. It's going to be up to Lockster to really space with these Jinx auto attacks with the movement speed that you get from that Nami. And honestly, all eyes are probably going to be on this bot lane to really be the impact maker for both of these teams.
All right, well, predictions are out, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 predictions are up. Start using your channel points. I know what I'd throw my points into. Starcasters for sure. After how strongly they played first game, after how nice their draft looks this game. Not sure how you feel, Mercury, but I'm putting my money on Starcasters.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same. We saw an incredibly consistent and strong game 1 from them. Barely any mistakes across the board besides that dragon fight that didn't go entirely to their favor, and even then that was a 3-for-3 to end things off. So I'm putting my money on Starcasters here for that 2-0 sweep, but honestly I would love to see STORMWOLVES bring us to that game 3.
Genzo disagrees with me, but I guess the game will tell us the truth.
Love to see.
Alright, let's go for a break, Mercury. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds about right. Give these teams a bit of time to get in and let the spectator tool catch up for both of these teams. We'll catch you in a moment for game number 2. Well, things are heating up on the Summoner's Rift here for game number 2 of Stormwolves versus Starcasters for the MCOM Iron to Plat playoffs here for Split 2. And after a very dominant game 1, Starcasters looking to run it back here. Pretty much same sort of style of draft across the board here. They've got Cletus on this Ornn again, and we see these battle lines being drawn to start things off. A little bit of a trade, a little bit of a first strike, 4 gold. You take that.
Not just 4 gold, Mercury, but a stack. No, it's a stack. He gets a stack by damaging champions with a Z. That's one of the main reasons you start E on Aurelion Sol. Also, if you E the first minion wave and you kill the first 3 minions that are dying, boom, 3 more stacks. So
yeah, I honestly didn't think he was in there long enough to proc that stack, but
I was worried he was going to get the second one off, and that's pretty scary. Aurelion Sol's OP.
Against this Galio, though, should be a relatively passive lane across the board, you'd have to imagine.
We've got Comet Ornn, by the way. So he's going to be poking Nasus. That's going to be his goal of trying to make up for the fact that he's a bit of more of a passive champion, to try and chuck all those Qs at Nasus, try and bully him off the wave so that Nasus can't be spam stacking his Qs. And he's going to be playing as aggressively as humanly possible up in this top lane to try and slow that scaling down. The whole reason he picked Nasus was because, you know, versing a tank, it's going to be easier for him to stack. But if Cletus can use this Comet and use his aggression to stop him from stacking, then this is going to be a really nice start. Because if you get a free farm Nasus, lately every Nasus I've seen has just been a terrifying monster. So this should be an interesting matchup to watch on top lane. The junglers, by the way, have started at an inverted positionings. So we have Wukong actually pathing down to bot side, but it seems like Lockster and Cat have both sort of pushed the wave in a little bit. Let me just move this down here because I have the power to move the screen wherever I want. It does look like for now that they're going to be pushed in, which is going to be harder unless they go for a dive, which they have this sort of deeper water into the river. They have another wave coming. They could set a dive up. Speaking of dives, though.
Looking for a dive on towards the top lane. The Wither might be enough to almost trade things back. Imagine will be the execute. So the 1-for-0 trade to end things off there. Cletus going to be forced to recall and TP back. But that is the result of those trades early that you were talking about with this Comet Ornn. Already down to half health at the beginning of the dive, just from those QW combos.
Yeah, literally, exactly what you're saying. He got him low enough, he got him under the tower, and then he probably communicated with Tempest. I doubt that that was his plan to just straight up gank top lane, but could have been. He went straight from red Raptors, went up to little Grumpy Boy, smacked that toad on the butt, and walked top lane, got that free dive off, got the execute as well, gave nothing away. He was withered though, right? I'm surprised that he withered him and the wither doesn't count as an assist at all? Like
the wither was onto Cletus.
Was it? Oh, it was too.
Yeah. That's what forced him to flash out of the tower range, but Tempest was untouched in that fight and able to clean up the kill.
Yeah.
Already 30
Not
stacks
bad.
on... Yeah, already 30 stacks on this Aurelion Sol, though, beginning to get the workings of the next few items under the belt as well.
Cletus is so tanky already.
Yeah, this is not looking good in the top lane. I've seen this story once before and it did not end well for top and for the entirety of Stormwolves.
Gryffindor didn't gank and yet he still didn't get both the scuttles. I think if he realized that Tempest went to top lane, he should have ran straight to Scuttle and like just went Scuttle to Scuttle, taken both of them, then done his camps. But at least he has the 1 for Dragon, and so far his team has the bot lane control. A lot of push going on mid lane, so he has control mid. He's got push going on bot lane, so there's a chance with how farmed he is, he might just go for Dragon, but we have a gang top lane.
Yeah, Cletus looking for an engage, once again taken very, very low, but it's not even going to matter because Tempest is there. The Wither's already been used, and that's another kill on the board for Tempest.
Yeah, he knew, man. He knew all I got to do is poke this man down, and once he knew that his jungler was in the area, he just dived in. Like, you can't kill me, I'll just run away. I don't care. And then, boom, Tempest runs in, gets the cleanup. They have the control over top side, but like I said, Gryffindor has this control of the bot side, and he might just go straight for it. With his superior farm, he's got decent items. He has push going on top and mid. On mid and bot, should I say. And that is going to be the free dragon, because they know that Tempest went top lane.
Free dragon, 100% is a bit of a consolation prize. It's only the Cloud Drake. It's not one of the more important ones, but still a meaningful pickup, especially for, you know, the Jinx, the Nami, who really value that movement speed. As just continuing to farm across the board here. That's a cannon picked up in the Stardust here, so 59 stacks for this Aurelion Soul. Partially through, what, 12 out of 75 towards Sky's Descent as well. This Aurelion Soul is going to be no joke.
So good numbers, by the way. I don't know at what point it's actually accurate, but good numbers on him is 10 per minute. So 100 at 10 minutes is good. Anything above that is like, oh my god, he's scaling out of control. And anything below that is he's being bullied.
And getting definitely a bit close there as the taunt comes through. Karina, a little bit of a trade, but Easy Life planning on backing relatively soon anyway with that low mana pool. Trades continuing in towards this top lane. I believe still an experience lead for top, although I could be wrong. Yeah, about half a level almost on the board is that difference for top lane. Almost made a difference earlier when it was level 4 compared to level 5, but now that they're both level 6, you know, definitely playing wary considering the past 2 ganks have been towards that top lane. But as we see now, Tempest is in this bot lane. Lockster could be in so much trouble, just showing the power of picks.
Wow.
Plus that free hit.
This is bullying. He's going to turn it around though.
A little bit of a fight in the top lane though. Top is sick and tired.
He might flash. He's got Ghost.
Give me something to work with. Bonk straight on the head with the fury of the sands there, and it will be enough to pick up that kill. Gonna shove in this lane as well. Get some extra stacks while you're at it. Nice solo bolo to start things off. Gone the right direction. We've seen top in the early game be able to out-trade Cletus, and this is an example of that once again. Not going to dive this time around, has learned that mistake.
Yeah, man, Susan, once he gets that Sheen, he's in a bit of trouble. Tempest is coming with red and Easy Life. This is a 3 for 2. Cletus is on the way back down too, but Gryffindor and Karina sort of get a good feeling for that situation. Knew danger was coming. Managed to get out of there just in time. If they had gone for that, not knowing that red was there, big trouble in Little China, but because of that play, they're going to pick up this Herald for sure. Well, they're going to pop it down into the mid lane, or actually, they've been bullying top a lot. They might just go top lane again and deal with that, while Dark's been sitting down bot lane getting some solo XP.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. Low plates, only one of them has been picked up this game, and it is in that top lane. Definitely a surprisingly a slower paced game, even though there were less kills at this point last game, you know, taking things slowly in terms of the plates, not wanting to go too aggressive. And understandably, for Stormwolves, they are on the verge of being eliminated here. This is a best of 3 down that first game. Really makes you rethink things. There's a big trade in towards the top lane. That's a huge wave that Cletus may be able to force him off with the pressure of this ultimate. It will just be...
Tempest was there too, but I think that they saw Karina sort of move up and get ready. Not a lot of pings on the map that I have seen, but I'm definitely sure that there's a lot of communication going on in the Discord. They knew what was going on.
Yeah, Hero's entrance, no joke, can really turn those fights if the numbers advantage is there. The knock-up, incredibly useful, and really just buying time to free hit here, especially for a champion like Nasus.
Yeah, Nasus's healing is going to start kicking into overdrive in a bit. I feel like Cletus should have gotten that all-important heal cut a little bit earlier. As Gryffindor is coming down to bot lane, they might look to dive them here. Not a lot of minions to set up for that, but Gryffindor not finding a lot of success in these ganks, and also not ahead in farm at the moment either. So, lucky he got that dragon earlier, or there is not a whole lot he's been doing so far. Once we get to the team fight stage of the game, he's going to be a really useful champion, but here he goes.
Engaging in with the Cyclone, but Tempest is there to close things out. Very low health there for Kaiten. It forces the... I thought it was the flash there, but just the heal. Flash for readiness to trade things out, but again, no team wanting to go too over-aggressive here, especially when, 10 minutes in. Unleashed Teleport is available for top. Hero's entrance as well if Karina was to mosey down the river a little bit. 9th level, though, is going to be on the board for this Aurelion Soul. That means the permanent Space Laser is online. With the Ocean Dragon up and available, contest is potentially there as Tempest testing the waters for the time being.
Cletus has no TP. Top has TP though, and he's moved out of the lane.
Has the flash, might look for something, but he'll be forced off taunt. The chain CC might be enough to find it. The flash over the wall.
Oh,
secure it. Super Mega Death Rocket.
Yeah, it's going to miss because of Tempest ult. That's unfortunate, but yeah, they weren't in position in time, and that's 2 for 2. Gryffindor and Stormwolves just have better control on the bot side, but top lane...
Top trying to find a repeat of last time around. The flash away, the Wither might be enough. The Arcane Comet as well, and the Bellows Breath brings him low. Still don't want to fight this.
One
the
shot!
Wither might be enough. Grasp so close to finding it. I believe didn't have the Q ready for that fight, but both top laners withered and beaten. Another one.
Oh no!
Win this fight.
The level up
goes a bit too aggressive there, and the Siphoning Strike will claim another victim. Gets another plate for the Troubles. 228 board.
He figured that he was fine because he had no mana. Hold on, Gryffindor.
Just fighting across the map here will force out the flash as the Cyclone is used as well. But
yeah, Cletus there thought he was okay because Top had no mana, and then Top leveled up right as Cletus started Bellows breathing and like walking towards him, and just got enough mana for a Q, and bonk. Thank you, easy peasy. And yeah, Gryffindor knocks him up, but there was no follow-up in range, so easy getaway there from Easy Life.
First few items going to be purchased already. Sunfire, Gore Drinker, plus that Everfrost and the Storm Razor, like we saw last game for this Jinxes. Already, I don't even think that's the Ginsu's being picked up there with the Vamp set. We'll have to see what that eventually evolves into, as Cull is still on the board just for those stats while there's no need to sell it.
Finally, Cletus here has heal cut against Nasus. It's been a long time coming, but he's got it. Nasus literally has been almost out-sustaining Cletus in terms of every time he does damage, he's almost healing it back completely. It's been pretty bad, but that should help with these fights. But I think Top has outscaled too much now. Now that he has a full Sunderer, he's going to be solo killing him. He might even tower dive him at some point. It is really, really hard to deal with this Nasus. And because of the fact that we don't have a lot of... we don't even have most farm on Dark. He's not winning in that regard. He hasn't gotten any kills down bot lane. So assisting top lane to try and slow Top down hasn't done the damage that it needed to. And all the ganks on bot lane thus far have been unsuccessful to help Dark out in terms of farm or in gold. So this is going to be a hard game.
Yeah. An important thing to note as well, credit to Easy Life here, continuing to push in this lane and just preventing any chance for Karina to get that early road, which is absolutely insane with this Galio. It hasn't been able to get any usage out of the hero's entrance just yet. There's potential looking for a bit of a trade here.
Here we go.
Might find it. Cyclone, hero's entrance, like I mentioned, is now online as Readiness has to run for the hills, but nothing left available. Bit of a trade in the top lane looking for this tower. Might be able to claim it as well. That's the first one on the board. Signs of life for the side of Stormwolves.
Starcasters are not looking too hot right now. The scaling so far on Easy Life is insanity. He is up 155 stacks. at 15 minutes. He's going ham. So he's going to be a scary Dragon Boy later on. Slow and steady, Dark will get up to that point as well. But for now, 2 dragons to Stormwolves. Top tower, bot tower to Stormwolves. They have a lot of gold. Can they train it around top lane?
Top might be able to fall on.
He might kill them both. He might kill them both.
Double Fury of the Sands finds that first kill, and now Cletus has to run for the hills. The Space Dragon isn't enough. Barely going to melt him down with that. Leandres gets a nice shot down for the troubles, but that's a huge double kill to pick up there for top. Now has the Merc Treads as well, so these trades top lane are going to be less and less effective for just drawing pressure away, and that's what this Nasus will do, is force multiple members to have to face them while the rest of the team fights outnumbered.
3 members are needed. 3 are needed to take this Nasus down. Whenever it goes to a side lane, you send 3 people or you lose a tower. That is now the rule of the game, and STARCASTers know it. You have just put the fear of God in them in that one play. That is such a huge mental tax to know how down you are in one side lane. Now they're trying to force this fight around Dragon, trying to force a 5v5. But with how scary top is, if he lands that W onto Dark, he's probably not going to be a champion. They're going to be 1 player down for the duration of that weather. Easy Life is going to have to put in work. He has his Mythic now, so it's going to be useful. Here comes the engage.
Guys, Descend is available here as Gryffindor
Kriya
takes
at the back.
so much damage. Tempest almost falls
Kriya in the
low.
back.
The ult going to land onto all 4, but look where Karina is. Might be able to win the fight. Top in the thick of it now. Cletus has to run for the hills, but the Wither is there. Double kill over towards top once more. Jinx is excited. Readiness has to flash. 3 for 2. Very
Huge,
close fight
dude.
at all, but top, what a monster on this Nasus.
Massive flank there by Karina. Gets a 3-man taunt in the back of that fight, just allowing Loxa to shoot forever. So much damage by top. 6-3-1 now on this Nasus. This is an insane game for Stormwolves. Cat on steroids messaged me before this game, and she told me that she promises me that they're going to win this game, and I think she's going to live up to her promise because her team is delivering right now.
And at this point, that's what you have to do, right? Your back's against the wall in this best of 3, and you have to deliver in this second game. You have to deliver decisively as well, because if you show any sign of weakness, they will capitalize. And already, Herald going to be sided up. Not going to have a contest just yet from Gryffindor. Going to give this one up. Not willing to risk things out. That will be an objective on the board.
Top actually backed there while they knew STARCASTers was on this Herald. He could have gotten a tower, even threatened an inhib while trying to stop the backs. Like, if the 4 members of Stormwolves right then had a pressure to stop the backs, Top gets an inhib. That's how that goes. They get him to back to finish an item, but there's so much more pressure to be had there if they had been paying attention to the mini-map while that was all going down. They could have even gone for the mid tower at the same time. They kind of just walked over a man down and went, maybe we try and steal it? I don't know. Yeah. It's not Elder Drake, guys. Go get objectives.
I will say, though, not out of the gates just yet, because this Cogmore does have the Blade of the Ruin King. You know, Aurelian Soul is continuing to stack up, looking very, very deadly. 208 stacks at 19 minutes. That's like a 14 or what's that percent execute range? Sorry, a 10% execute range just for free on your E. Just because why not?
I don't think Wither affects the flight, the dragon flight, so I feel like there isn't a better champion to play against Nasus in the side lane. He can either wave that slows it down and holds it back so Nasus can't get near any of the towers. He does % max health damage, so Nasus being tanky and building magic resistance is sort of lessened by that. There is a lot of pros of putting this dragon in this side lane. They're both scaling, neither of them are going to kill each other, so yeah, I like this idea. They definitely cannot, are about to find out. I think it might slow him while he was jumping just then. I think it's still fast enough that he's okay, but it looked a little bit slow.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see later on as well, but has the 2 items completed now, the Rylai's and the Leandru. Such a classic combo. as Echoes of Helia has
That's to
been
find out.
purchased
He's doing a lot of damage.
for the side of
He's flying, but it's not fast enough.
Ooh.
Oh, it definitely
Yeah,
does, by the way. The Wither ran out and he went really quickly at the end of that. Wither affects Aurelion Sol's W. Alright, everyone write that down. I did not know that.
just solo killing a turret as well without any minions there. Top burns the ult, burns the ghost,
Terrifying.
gets so much damage though.
Almost 2 hit
And
easy
is
life.
so unmatched in this solo lane here. Even still, like, even though there is this scaling coming in, and you know, this Aurelion Sol, this Cogmore, they do look incredibly powerful. They have to think about the here and now, not 10 minutes down the line, because these Nasus could be knocking on Nexus doors in just a moment. Playing things safe though for the time being, 1.5 minutes until this dragon. They have to fight it. It will be this soul point, and letting a Nasus get Chemtech Soul, especially with the Spirit Visage, doesn't sound incredibly fun to play against.
Not at all. I feel like Easy Life is probably going to have to grab some heal card as well. Or someone else besides Cletus needs to do it. Because if he ignores Cletus, then he'll never get the heal card and he can just heal away. So someone else is going to have to grab that to try and shut the Nasus down. And the only one who can really damage him... Actually, maybe Easy Life can later on, but right now, neither of them have the equipment to deal the damage to Top to get him fully shut down. So it's going to be scary for a little bit here for Starcasters. They're going to need to build up some items on their carries before... Probably they can even 5v5. They might even look to give up... Oh, that's Soul. They can't. It's just so difficult. They're grouping as 5. A pick is needed in order to win this fight down here. I don't know how well they're going to go 5v5, man. I think they're going to struggle with it. The gold lead is now in the favor of Du Bois Stormwolves, so this is going to be tough. A pick is necessary, I'll say it again. Top and Cletus both have TPs.
Herald's going to be coming mid, and you can't leave this Nasus bot lane, even against Cletus. Will probably just take that tower, and possibly the inhib as well. Gets the charge at the very least, but no towers yet have been picked up here for the side of Starcasters. A very different sort of view than what we saw in game number 1. Dragon going to be seemingly completely forfeited. Interesting macro choice here for the side of Starcasters, and by that I mean I don't know what they're doing.
Just ignored. You can't do anything. He's going to take the whole base. There's 3 top.
Top might be in a bit of trouble at the very least, because that is the Aurelion Sol here and ready to play.
Easy
Does
to
have
kill
the
him.
laser just chunking him down.
That healing though.
Thundra might be enough at this point.
That healing though.
And finds it. That's the sole difference with the Sundra, with the Spirit Visage. So much healing, and you've got nothing to deal with it if he's not going to be hitting this on.
Exactly.
And just
Your
like
only
that-
heal cut is hit on. If you don't hit on, there's no heal cut at all, and you can just smack away and out heal a fed ASOL. So yeah, that's fun and interactive gameplay right there. But he's gonna get that inhib next time that they are there. That is Soul to them as well. They lost top tower, but they lost tier 1. What is it called? Inhib tower. The OG tower, the base tower. That's not good. That's going to super open up that base. Once he gets that inhib, then they can swap, get Baron and swap, put him top lane, and then try and siege mid and bot. There's so many opportunities that's going to open that up once they get that inhib down. So this is going to be really hard. Starcasters need to make picks. They need to make plays. Group up in places where Stormwolves aren't ready for them. Try and take picks off here and there. Things are not going well, and they can't just afford to sit back and watch this game because they will slowly die.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can already see the tax that has to be paid here. Easy Life picks up an Oblivion Orb of their own.
Yep, he figured it out.
While they're still farming up in this side lane and getting those stacks on the board, you know, Sky's Descent is available for the next fight. Objective bounties, I believe, are online now, and at this point, they have to send at least 3 people towards this bot lane. Any less won't be enough. The top going to push towards that. Meanwhile, they're just on the Baron. You have to choose one or the other. They will be choosing to take it down top, and I think that's probably the right choice at the end of the day. But they need to secure this kill, otherwise it is not
Dark does damage.
the slightest. Top looking for something,
but no one is withered.
There.
Oh my god, the heal.
Still half health.
The heal. What is this? What is this?
For so long. That took way longer than it should have, but at the end of the day, the kill will be picked up, and by the Ornn.
Oh my god!
Things are going horribly for the side of STARCASTERS. Ideally, you want that on Dark, but I mean, Ginsu's is completed for this Cogmore. At the very least, this is going to be, you know, no longer just a guaranteed win in these team fights. They actually have to prioritize this Cogmore down the line.
Mercury, I just threw up in my mouth, and it's days like this when you have to just think to yourself, I miss the days when Big Boy Blasm used to play, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Jesus, man, what was that? How do you kill this guy? 4 people wailing on him, including the ADC who's building tank kill, and man had Wither on him and Frozen Heart, and, yeah, that's 1 auto attack every hour for Dark. Unlucky for you. 1 hit almost kills Red, and just he was healing off just the AoE of his ult alone. He wasn't even auto attacking, and they still couldn't kill him. Went through stuns, through polymorph, everything. He's just sitting there taking 3 different people wailing on him. Doesn't care at all. It's just terrifying. He's drawing 4 members now. 2 was not enough a long time ago. 3 is not enough. Now it's 4 required, and they still barely killed him. Any more fed, and it's going to be 5. The rest of Stormwolves have the whole map. They can just have a party. Go ward everywhere, go kill all the jungle camps, kill any tower you want. Everyone is required to kill top, and that is terrifying. We only have 4k gold lead though. That's all there is. Let me just double check. Top lane, 9,000 gold to 13,000, 4,000 gold lead in the top side alone. So that's the entire team's gap just in top lane, and there's an engage mid.
Oh, Redimus could be in so much trouble here, but Dark managed to get out of time to try his descent, and Easy Life could be in so much trouble. Gryffindor gets away as both of them just say a bit of a how do you do, and Dark forcing him off, showing the power of the Rage Blade. No one dies in the fight, but never mind. Cletus will find the pick, and Gryffindor falls. Mid is held for the time being, but look at top lane. There's another tower under the belt. They need to find something decisive, and they need to find it soon, because Easy Life probably not going to be able to hold this.
Whoa, Easy Life!
Longer. That's the wrong way.
That's the wrong direction, man. That is the wrong direction.
Oh yeah.
If anyone plays Warhammer, he just did the Orcs flying headbutt. A little bit of a background on that. Orcs planes, they have an attack where they just suicide bomb. And the Orcs are so dumb that they think that they're headbutting you. And that's exactly what the dragon just did. He flew in to try and get himself a headbutt.
And this might be the reason why it seems like there's a little bit of a DC on the side of STARCASTERS.
Was it Easy Life?
I mean, possibly.
Let me just double
given that W there is top going to be forced off for the moment here as we enter this.
Easy Life's the one in chat to type DC, so it wasn't him that DC'd. But wow, okay, that was that was interesting and funny. It's not going to be all over. It's not going to be a 1-for-1, guys. I don't know. 3k gold, 4k gold is the only gap here. It is small, all things considered, but this game is looking really, really difficult here for the side of STARCASTERS. They're going to need some sort of play to be made. Like when they made that play, it was good. Here's 5 people to kill top. His whole team is back, by the way.
Yeah, they're able to shred through. I mean, you can see Dark unleashed now with these 2 items. But even still, you know, I could reasonably see this game ending relatively soon if, you know, top continues to put out the pressure that they can. Elder Drake up in 20 seconds, looking to posture for that. Top has that TP available as well, so
Top may have
looking
trolled.
nice.
This is their best player dead at the time. Like, this is the most important objective in the whole game. This is an objective that can switch games on its head. That might have been Starcaller's star call to be able to turn this one on its head. They can win a team fight here to 30 seconds. Top has TP though. If they don't win this fight clean and decisive and get this dragon, Top will be able to TP and join this fight, and it will be a 5v5. This is when they need to make their mark right now. Mercury, take it away.
All of the Forge God going to come in. Hero's entrance as well, and Dark is still free hitting for the time being. So is Lockster.
Easy life.
And it's just a back and forth. Dark so close to finding the kills. 3k available. TP in 2 for Top.
Nasus
Where's
is
it
up.
gonna go? It will be into the river, not into the base where possibly an end is on the board.
Yeah, he could have ended.
Exactly what Top can do.
Top
Easy
could have
life.
ended.
Going to be forced out of the pit and out of life. Tempest could be the next victim
Lockster?
as well. And this Elder Dragon seemingly for
Lockster?
nothing. Lockster back to full health. The shutdown is available. 10 to 14, this Jinx is popping off. And just like that, that could be it. The push towards the base, it's just Redimus left standing for another 30 seconds. They've got all 3 inhibitors exposed. And they've got a Nasus ready to stack and just melt these objectives into sludge. And just like that, Stormwolves, a decisive victory in game number 2, strike back after a very one-sided affair earlier tonight.
Cat promised me a win and they didn't let me down. Here we go. It's a 1-for-1. We're ready for the series. We're going to be going to game 3, Mercury. I'm super pumped for this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw once again Top in these early fights being able to out-trade in the top lane, and that was ultimately what almost made the difference in game number 1. You can imagine if that dive went another way, maybe this could have been a 2-0 sweep in favor of Stormwolves, but that's not the world we live in. The world we live in is now a 1-1, and here we are, the 3rd game of the night. Who would have thought?
So I just want to say, do you know who... Well, the first question I'm going to ask is the easiest. Who do you think did the most damage?
I mean, it's of course the Nasus.
Okay,
for sure.
but who do you think did the second most amount of damage in the entire game?
Ooh.
Without cheating, I'm
Honestly,
looking.
I completely forgot the clients open. I honestly probably think the Ornn again. I mean,
It was
last game Ornn.
It was
did
on by
27
like a lot.
Oh wow! I mean, last game Ornn did 27,000 damage as well. So, adding another 23 on top of that, that's 50k damage in 2 games on an Ornn.
Yeah,
Regardless of how the game went.
The top lane has outdamaged everyone by a lot, and that's pretty crazy considering the champions we had. Jinx, Cogmore, and Aurelion Sol get outdamaged by the Ornn that was I don't know, I was gonna say losing, but he was still putting in some work, but it's still just an amusing thought. So in terms of that game, breaking it down just a little bit, I feel like Tempest ganked the wrong lanes. I'll be completely honest with you. You got Ornn fed, in quotations. You ganked Ornn a bunch. Yeah, we wanted to shut down Nasus, but guess what? He's one of them champs that you can't. He's the inevitable. He's the same as Asol. You shut Asol down, great. Okay, see you in 10 minutes when he's no longer shut down anymore. So trying to shut him down isn't going to work for very long. The best option to deal with a Nasus is get the other people on your team that can kill Nasus fed. And Dark was sitting there behind because he was getting pushed in. He was getting pressure from Wukong, and Dark is just sitting there like, I'm trying to do my best down here, but things aren't going well. If Tempest had gone bot lane, Dark was under his tower the whole time. He has an opening there. You can go get him fed. Getting Cogmore fed is actually insane in this meta, so could have gone there. Guess who else was pushed in all game? Aurelion Sol. Getting Aurelion Sol fed is crazy too. Instead, we got Ornn fed, and he just got outscaled. As soon as Nasus got his mythic, boom, it's over. Cletus can no longer win that lane anymore. So, yeah, you shut Nasus down for a while, but getting a teammates fed, I would say, is more beneficial.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough choice across the board, I will say as well. Obviously you don't want any of your lanes to lose, and as the jungler, sometimes it can feel like putting out constantly fires from every single direction. But at the
Just
end of
sack
the
one.
day,
You can't.
yeah. But at the end of the day, top, what an incredible performance across these past two games in the early game of game one, and now here on this Nasus as well. We're going to give these teams a little bit of time to again recoup and prepare for the final game of the night. It's 1-1. We're at best of three. Let's see who can take home the series after the break.